the bad guy.
Duh.
What is up, Flick fans? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking the brand new DreamWorks movie that drops in theaters this weekend. This is The Bad Guys. Where does this stack up in the DreamWorks filmography? We'll talk about that this weekend with the DreamWorks tier list 40+ movies. It's going to be a long video, so come back for that, but let's talk about this film. So several reformed yet misunderstood criminal animals attempt to become good with some disastrous results along the way. Starting with the rating, we have a PG rating for action and a little bit of rude humor. It's the perfect rating for a film like this. Take your family, take your kids, although it's not without its humor for adults as well. Let's talk about the cast. Sam Rockwell, Marc Maron, Awkwafina, Craig Robinson, Anthony Ramos, Zazie Beetz, Lily Singh, Alex Borstein from Family Guy fame, and of course the marvelous Mrs. Maisel. But Rockwell really is kind of our main character as the big bad wolf. And I'm talking the actual big bad wolf. He is a villain by nature. So what does he do all throughout this film? Well, he embraces that. He and his ragtag group of wild thieves, each thief with their own very distinct skill set and personality, from Craig Robinson's shark to Awkwafina's tarantula. Each member of the group, and we establish this right off the bat, can do something different that allows them to pull off these crazy heists. And Police Chief Misty Luggins is having some difficulty capturing these individuals, so it's this back and forth all throughout the movie. They know their calling, or do they? Because around 30 minutes into the film, someone comes along and says, you know what, we're going to reform these criminals. They are no longer going to be criminals. We're going to turn the bad guys into good guys. Now, there's a little bit of a twist that comes along with that. I will not get into it, but I will just say I found that storyline to be interesting, intriguing, and engaging, especially for a DreamWorks movie that is focused on giving the family something to laugh at, be engaged with, and hopefully talk about when it's over. Now, is this the most revolutionary plot for an animated movie I've ever seen? No, and it is predictable, right? Every twist and turn, barring maybe one along the way, you can see it coming from a mile away, and there's one character in particular. You get a reveal, and that reveal was supposed to mean something crazy for us. Now, for the kids, they could be like, oh my gosh. And in the long run, that's all that really matters with a movie like this. I like to focus on the target audience for this type of film, and they're definitely going to be really engaged. But like I said, I've seen this type of story before. It all comes down to the entertainment value that comes from that. And really, this is a movie about relationships. This is a movie at its core, and this is kind of what surprised me along the way, about friendship and how those relationships can carry you through the darkest of times, in this case, being a bad guy. But there's always something deep down that makes us want to do the right thing, even if we know that that's not what we are perceived to be. And that's how these criminals, they see themselves, right? We are supposed to be the bad guys. We get joy from that. But Rockwell's wolf in particular, every time he does something good, he gets this feeling deep down like, all right, maybe there's something more to this, but no, you know what? I'm the bad guy. That is what we do. And I love that. And without the voice of someone like a Sam Rockwell, I thought Awkwafina was really good. Anthony Ramos as Piranha was absolutely hilarious. A fearless character, tiny character, but a fearless one nonetheless. But for me, it was that relationship between wolf and snake. Marc Maron, Sam Rockwell. It's kind of the two that we start with and end with. It's a rocky relationship, a lot of ups and downs, but those ups and downs were entertaining. Zazie Beetz comes into the picture, her character of Diane Foxington. Awesome character, loved her on-screen presence, and all this comes together to deliver an entertaining story that, again, we've seen before. Even these jokes that will have you giggling along the way, they're nothing revolutionary, so all in all, just a solid overall time with the story. I really dug the animation in this movie, though. It's slightly different than what we've seen DreamWorks do before, and it was so extravagant at points, right in line with the story, nothing revolutionary. I just really dug it, and I liked the entire vibe of this film, knowing exactly what it is, who its audience is, keeping that simplicity, right? The plot's simple, the reveals are simple, but it's just super entertaining. And this is one of the more entertaining DreamWorks movies I've seen in quite some time, and I would not be opposed to a sequel So for me, I look at The Bad Guys as a fun time in the theater, possibly a franchise starter. You have a great cast, you can introduce more characters along the way, and it's one that you and your kids are going to enjoy. It checks off all of those boxes. It's the exact thing you expect to see when you go out to that theater this weekend. That's why I think a lot of people are going to enjoy this movie. Before I give you my score, if you like this review, the best way to let me know is by dropping that like down below. It helps the algorithm. And like I said, come back this weekend. I'm going to attempt a DreamWorks movie tier list that is 40+ films. It's going to be crazy, providing more than a few entertaining moments and an exciting ensemble cast. The Bad Guys turns its simple story into a fun ride for the entire family. This could be a franchise starter. It's a really solid film. I'm going a 73% with my score. It's one that I would recommend to pretty much everyone. Some of the humor is more focused on kids, but every now and then you get a joke that everybody can laugh at. And hey, I think it's probably my favorite animated movie of the year. Where are we at? April? That's good, right? All right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow, I think.